There we go. We are live. All right. Thanks everybody for coming in. Welcome back to the channel. We're back this week. I had something to attend to, an important event last week. I had some things I had something due scheduled for that day, a special day. And but we're back. And today's live is going to be, I know the title reads, "Do Hookups Lead to Love?" And that is a bit misleading. You know, thank you, Joel, of course, for everything you do and putting this together. And I sent him a description about, oh, and Joel is not on tonight. He'll be in next week. Also, you know, if you know Joel, my co-host here, and has been from the beginning, and this is the guy who makes all the stuff in the backgrounds happen. Love you, brother. You can also see him at Sobriety University, who he deals in, you know, specific recovery type support, sobriety and recovery. So anyway, do hookups lead to love? That was the title. But this is what it is, you know, today's a modern dating scene and what that looks like. And so a lot of guys, every guy that's ever come to my channel, anybody who comes into this space on YouTube looking at videos for heartbreak and breakup and no contact, getting your ex back, getting your girlfriend back, all these different things, come in here predominantly because of that. Rarely, and I haven't seen anyone yet who's come in proactively, because I mean, I don't think it's abnormal for anybody in a happy relationship who's content is going to proactively seek out on the internet and YouTube about how to fix your relationship or recover a breakup, because you're in a relationship. Nobody's thinking about that. Nobody thinks about that stuff ahead of time. But as you know, and if you're familiar with my content, you know that it's a real jarring moment that kind of slaps you in the face and makes you take notice of your life and look at things differently. And it propels you into a state of action to solve something, to fix this problem, to relieve this pain, the anxiety, and the funk, you know, this emotional hangover, so to speak, that happens in a breakup. And, you know, also a lot of guys come into this space because they see it's like learning pickup and hookup culture, how to optimize your online dating, 3 easy ways to get it from text to bed, and how to date and meet women, you know, very superficial, very shallow things, which, you know, I got to tell you, that's the easy part. But I can tell you this also, that every man that's ever come to me for guidance, for a solution, they all have one thing in common. And this is a lot of men that I found in this space, people that I know that are on the outskirts of this, associated with, and people I've dealt with personally, other coaches that I'm very close with. We all agree on this same sentiment, is that, you know, there is an element of guys, of being a man, that, yeah, you do want to go explore. You want to know how to get good, like develop this natural charismatic rapport to be able to attract women and, you know, date and have a good experience with that. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's really not. And what's being overlooked and under talked about, in my opinion, is like, what does that mean? Because I'm gonna tell you this, the meeting chicks and getting laid part, that's easy. You could work with me for 3-4 weeks and I'll have you meeting girls left and right, you know, more than you ever thought. That's the simple part. And the times have changed so much, and what's going on through societal programming, the pull and the misuse of masculine and feminine, and how, I mean, honestly, the West is put us in a war, a gender war, so to speak. Maybe that's overstatement, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it's accurate that it's a gender war. They're telling women, go get your degree. Don't worry about being a mom. Go pursue that career, girl. Freeze your eggs. Go run through a bunch of dudes. And guys, get in touch with your feelings. Praise thy lady. Tell her how you feel. Express your emotions. Like it's twisted. It's backwards. And there's we're seeing a huge effect now with this younger generation coming up, and even like the 20-somethings. Like, you see all the women are like, what the fuck is going on out there? But I mean, you have online dating, social media, these universities that just absolutely obliterate any tradition and what traditional values used to be. And everywhere in society is telling these people this is what they need to do. And this is the way to go. And doing that silly shit, like they're trying to feminize men and masculinize, I don't know, is that a word? Women. They're telling women take the lead, take charge and take the lead of your life. And guy, you need to soften up. And it's okay to cry in front of her. And it's okay to tell how you feel and communicate, express yourself, and all this other nonsense. And I'm not saying it's not a place of healthy communication in a relationship. That's not what I'm saying. But the way they mean it is to reverse the gender role and put the other role into the other gender's lap. And it's not natural, and it affects society as a whole, because you see the breakdown of the family unit, the traditional family unit, the mother, father, children, everybody in the home. There's a lot of, like, this is the most single parent households in history. And we see a rise in crime. You see a rise in mental health problems, incomes dropping, IQ going down. We're lowering the standards for everybody so everybody can be equal, so everybody gets a trophy, that kind of mentality. And it's having an extremely negative effect on society. So let's move into what this is about, is the dating aspect. And I don't know, I can't speak for forever, but salute Dubs. Look who's back, my man. Y'all don't start fucking around in the chat. He's here. He was looking for a reason to boot somebody's ass. Dubs, did you hit that like? I can't check. So anyway, it's like the easiest that I've ever experienced in my lifetime for guys to go out and hook up. Chicks are more willing. They've been programmed that that's okay. Go sleep around, go hoe around for your 20s, and then get your career. When you're ready, you settle down, get you a nice, strong guy. And that's polluted and warped. Gotcha, brother. Thank you. And it's warped young men and young women's minds. It's screwed everything up. And that system is designed like that on purpose. We're not going to get into that. So the show is about, how does the hookup and pickup type culture, the hit it, quit it type culture, how does that translate into long-term relationships? And is it tangible? Is it feasible to think that that is going to bring about a healthy long-term relationship, which, I've learned that's most men want that. Most men, including myself, want to be a father, want to be a husband, want the godly duty to lead a family, lead a household, provide, protect, lead, and go out there and, hunt the meat and fight the wars for the family, so to speak. And with this culture today, a lot of guys come looking for how to get good with women. 10 easy ways to text her right. 10 easy ways to meet women. And what you'd see is a lot of these PUAs, pickup artists from back in the day. And look, that's part of it. That is a valuable skill that any man can learn. You're inherently born with everything you need to be a successful, strong, masculine leader in your own life, in your family, your wife and children. It's covered up. And, and this is part of the whole mental illness, the anxiety, the depression, the ADD, all these new symptoms, there's new diagnoses that pop up daily. Like it seems like there's always some new social anxiety, this phobia, that phobia. Like there's always something that they create to keep people sick and mentally unwell. And what it is a lack of connection and depth with who we are at our core. And I can tell you that going against the grain, the natural order of things, the way God and nature intended, you'll never be well. There will always be, and everybody I've ever coached, men I've talked to regularly who've had some sort of transformation in their lives have always had that little voice in the back of their head, including myself, that something's off. Something is off. And it is, because we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to be, as a man, you're not supposed to be constantly emoting to a woman, especially the woman whose life you're in, who looks up to you to lead for safety and security. It's not her position to hear that. It's not her position to bear the burden of your woes. It's just not. That's what you have, a strong group of men, like-minded men, who are there to help each other and guide each other. And a lot of people, unless you've grown up, which is a very rare thing these days, in a healthy, well-run family with a masculine father, a feminine mother figure who is at home, and you've been exposed to that and around that from the time you were born, because your identity, your core beliefs, your subconscious view of yourself is formed between 0 and 7 years old. And if you didn't grow up in that and being praised and seeing what a masculine figure looks like and a feminine figure looks like, and the complementary differences, and how that polarization between the two actually form a healthy, strong environment for everybody in it, more so the children than anybody. If you haven't experienced that, you're going to get drugged along with the narrative, which is what you learn in the public school, seeing on TV, what's force-fed through the media, what you're hearing on the radio, what you're seeing on YouTube, what you're seeing on social media, and that's not good. It's not good. And part of that is why I'm here in this space, because I was that. I grew up with a single mom. I didn't know what a strong male leader did day in and day out, and how they thought, and the things you're supposed to do as a strong masculine figure in your family's life. And it came back to bite me in the ass. It really did, in more ways than one. But this is about relationships, so we'll keep it there. And it did. There was a lot of damage done. Granted, I was going along with what I had, but nonetheless, having a single mother as a young man is just not good for young men. And you can see it now, how these young men are turning out, the things that are going on in schools and high school and middle schools and on the streets. It's chaos. It's chaos. Juvenile prisons are filling up, overflowing with repeat offenders. The violence, the lack of respect, the lack of compassion. And it's, I've been to jail, And it's full of men who have zero impulse control and have no control of their emotions, who blow up and make impulsive decisions constantly. That's usually why you land in jail, because you're not doing sensible shit. And it translates and ripples into society, and it's worse than ever. But there's still hope. There's still hope, and there's still a chance. So going back to the original point is, yes, it is necessary that you learned, because every area of your life needs to be well-rounded. You need to be a well-rounded man is what the goal is how you optimize your life experience and put you in the best position you can possibly be for success and being able to effectively lead your life, your wife, and your children successfully. And everybody gets the best experience out of that. And so, yeah, part of that dynamic is learning how to meet women, learning how to date. That's a skill. That's a skill anybody can learn. And what you'll find is it's not what they're telling you to do that attracts women. It's not that they're telling you, you bring a chick nowadays on a first date and you bring her flowers, you'll never speak to that woman again. Either that, or you're going to be the dude who picks her up for dinner and wines and dines her, and then she gets dropped off at Pookie's house, and he gets the dessert you was looking for, maybe in eats you and her's leftovers. That's just a fact. And I'm not saying at some point there's not a place and time for that, but in the beginning and exposing yourself, being vulnerable, being there's a ton of guys I know who are successful business-wise and financially. They seem squared away, but when it comes to women, they're clueless. They lead with their money. They start talking about their accomplishments or and look, physical is important. I think it's necessary that as a man, you keep yourself strong, active, functionally strong, active, healthy. I'm not saying you got to be this health nut where you drink water out of copper mug all the time and, you never eat a piece of cake or something. But you know what I mean? 80% of the time, you're taking good care of yourself. I'm not saying live a life of strict, pure organic whole food. Yeah, that's no kind of life. Maybe it is for some people. It's not me to judge. It's not for me. And I do pretty well. The thing that gets me is my drive. I push hard. I drive hard. And sometimes I overdo it and it catches up with me physically. I'll be down for a couple days, a week, maybe here and there. But that's comes along with being somebody like me. And I'm learning to manage that better. Because there's a certain amount of balance that needs to exist. But what that looks like from one person to the next is different. So it's not my place. Like when people tell me you need balance, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean? Balance what? Like, I'm running a business. I got shit to do from the time I get up to the time I go to bed at night. What do you balance? What does that even mean? Like, how do you know what I can balance? I got to get shit done. And that's what it looks like for me. And right now, but I do know the importance of stepping back and taking a break and charging your batteries, because if you go too much and too hard, you're going to wear down. They call that burnout. And I genuinely love the process of doing what I do. I love the grind. Oh, I love it. And as much as I do love it, if I want to optimize it and get the most out of it, that rest time is necessary. And it should be a normal, commonplace thing in your life to prioritize rest, nutrition, rest, training, business. Like, it's just all things that are important. But anyway, dating goes in with that, with being a well-integrated man, is dating, being good with women. So when the time comes and you meet the person that fits, when you see an opportunity that's of quality, that matches the quality that you signed up for and you're looking for, and you've become that person, and we're going to circle back to that point, that you have this experience already. You don't want to be like, you don't go into a job and start off as the CEO. But you're going to learn the most if you start sweeping the floors of that building, then going from this department to this department, to this, and learning each aspect of this corporation, whether this entity. One day you can be the CEO, but not in the beginning. And you don't want to go into a CEO not knowing anything, trying to learn on the fly, because you're going to lose your job. And it's just like a relationship. You don't want to go into a relationship, a meaningful relationship with somebody you love and you really want to keep in your life, not knowing what the fuck you're doing. It's just not going to work. Because eventually you're going to fumble a little bit. So, yes, learning how to meet women and attract women, and learning how to be attractive and what that means socially, through your fashion, through your posture, through your ability to speak, your confidence, all these things that come along with initially attracting a woman, is necessary to learn that. And you learn that through, like, you can watch my stuff, and you learn it through trial and error. But if you're that charming, confident, handsome guy, Jack the guy, who attracted that woman in the beginning, and she's really falling for you because she's liking everything she's seen so far, if you don't maintain that, and if that's not who you are in your core, it will be exposed at some point. The truth will always come out. Your true self, you're going to have to remain congruent with whatever you brought in the beginning. And if that's not who you are genuinely at your core, it's going to be exposed at some point. And let me tell you something. The beginnings, it is hot as hell in here. I'm sweating my ass off. I got the AC on. It's, in the beginning, yeah, there is tactics you can learn and use to woo women, to kind of stand out from the rest of the guys. That's not hard. It's not hard to do that. There's a few key things that you can do to just remain a cut above from out the gate. But is it authentically who you are? And can you maintain that? Because the hookup part, that's the easy stuff. Once you understand that and you get over the fear of what you think you can't do, once you've gotten the confidence in that area, that's easy. You can do that all day, every day. And this is the whole point of what I was getting to. This is what I want to do this particular live about, is, can you maintain that? Because guess what? That's where the meat is. That's where the juice is. And that long-term relationship, can you remain that guy and keep that relationship just as fresh and new for 10 years, for 15, for 20 years? Can you still gain your girl? Can you still, because here's where everybody messes up. I see it all the time. I can go out in public and tell you the couples who've given up. I can go out in public and tell you the couples who've become content and comfortable because they got the person. They just put it on cruise control, kick their feet up, and get fat and out of shape. And they both kind of just settle in because, it's here, it's convenient. I don't want to go back out in the dating world. I don't want to go back on the market. And guess what? Guess whose responsibility it is to lead that? The man. It's your job to keep dating her. It's your job for her to stay your girlfriend forever. It's your job to keep it fun and light and interesting. I'm not saying, obviously, it would be a stretch to think you're going to be able to do that. Bring your A game 100% of the time, all the time, 24/7, 365. It's just not the way human beings work. It's not the way the laws of nature. Nothing works like that. It's not perfect. You won't be able to do it. But able to maintain that for more time than not is what keeps us relationships fun and interesting. Keep us smiling. Keep yourself attractive. Keep the relationship fun and fresh. And look, there's going to be a point in time where you fall into the day-to-day. If you move in, your jobs, your kids, it becomes, you start getting caught up in all these things, And you kind of, and this is where it's important that you're paying close attention to what's going on. And this is why I say dating, understanding what attraction looks like, understand attraction, understand that dynamic to what that looks like for long term. Because you got to be able to apply that over and over and over. If you want a happy, healthy, successful relationship long term. Now, it's on you to lead that, and it's on her to follow that. So it's not all on you, but you better damn well be the one initiating that most of the time. Like I said, you're not going to be able to do it perfectly. But if you've done what you're supposed to do the right way, and you're that guy, more than likely you're going to wind up with somebody who matches what you want in somebody else. And they'll be there to now and then be able to cover and recover for you while you're out of commission. Or if you've gotten too busy and you kind of quit paying attention and she's feeling unattended to, and you want somebody who's a healthy communicator and able to communicate lovingly and maturely to tell you, hey, I'm feeling a little unattended. You're really busy. Just some kind of reminder to bring you back to the situation, because a guy like me and other ambitious hustlers, like I know, I can get caught up in the grind. Like I'll become uber focused with it, not because I don't care about any other part of my life and my romantic life, it's actually because I do care. And sometimes I'll put all my eggs in that hustle basket, thinking that's the best course of action for me to take for everybody, and go with it. And it's not intentional. Sometimes you just fade out a little bit. It happens. You're human, and it's going to happen. And what you want to have is somebody alongside of you who will be able to compliment you in that area. I don't mind carrying the load. I don't mind doing the hard work. Like I said, I don't mind going to kill dinner and fight the other tribes. I'll do that. But every now and then you need somebody in your life who's going to help, a captain and co-captain. And I say this to my girl, it's not you and me against each other. It's us against the world. And when you have that dynamic, and she knows and trusts that you're that guy, and you've proven that through what you've done over time, a healthy woman is not going to have a problem with bringing you back to her. She knows exactly what to do. Rarely is a woman going to sit down and say, hey, we need to talk. Here's what I need from you directly. There's little things, and this is why you got to have acuity and have this experience with women, so you know what these hints and signs and signals and indicators look like. She'll find a way to get your attention back. There's the little things that you have to pay attention and see in the changes and what she's trying to say, because that's just the way women communicate. They're covertly. You ever notice when you talk to a woman and you ask her a straight question, she's going to take the long way to the answer, and you're not even going to get a clear answer. You're going to get an idea. But if you listen to what she's saying and know how to break it down and know how to translate a woman's language into your understanding, she'll make perfect sense to you. It'll make perfect sense, and you won't get aggravated and frustrated. Oh, why can't she just give me an answer? Because she's not going to. She's not. So, and this is why I say, don't wish it were easy, wish you were better. Get better at life. Get better at yourself. And in the long run, everybody who's connected to you and you love and care for are going to be better for that. And you'll have a full cup, and so the whole title, do hookups lead to love? I don't know if that quite explains it, but yeah, we can get to this conclusion by asking that question. And it does potentially. But it doesn't mean just because you can hook up, because you do have that mouthpiece or you're charismatic, that you're good in a long-term relationship leading a family. And at the end of the day, and this is worth repeating, That's what most men want. In your younger years, you're going to want something different, nice cars and wild experiences and clubbing and, banging different chicks and shit. But when it's all said and done, when you meet somebody who you match with well enough, where there's that connection there, you're not going to want to do that anymore. Then your priorities are going to change into wanting to have a family. And it's biological. It's biologically in us to want to do that. That's perfectly natural and normal. And listening to the mainstream will tell you otherwise. And not only will they tell you, they'll set you up to fail. Because if you do what you see on these TV shows and act like these fruity ass men, like think about superheroes. Remember the action heroes? Used to be Stallone and Schwarzenegger, these big jacked, muscly, alpha male leaders who killed everybody, and they always had the damsel in distress at the end rescuing them. And like, look at the superheroes nowadays. Little frail, feminine chick looking. Look at Spider-Man, for God's sake. At least Tobey Maguire was jacked. Got jacked for the movie. And these other guys, what are we doing with that? But it's just a small example. This is what mainstream wants you to think. And there's a whole underlying thing that I'm not going to get into on this live stream because it doesn't have anything to do with what I'm saying. Well, it does a little bit, but not exactly. So the hookups lead to love? Not necessarily. But using that and building on that skill while building you, yes, it does, and it can. But ultimately, no, because you can be this character for a couple of weeks. You can be this character on a Friday and Saturday night out at the club. Who dresses, who talks, who walks, can spit mad ass game, and you can go take a couple dancing classes, learn how to spin on a dance floor. You can have enough cash where you can look flashy and treated good for the night. What can you do long term? When shit goes south, can you keep your shit together and protect your family, make her feel safe, keep dating her years and years and years into the relationship? And look, I'm not, like I said, it's not all on the man. Like if you got a contemptuous bitch for a woman and she's just constantly uncooperative and, headbutting all the time, then you're fighting a losing battle. That's not worth your time. But if you have a genuinely feminine, loving, caring woman, she's going to want that out of you. And if you don't provide that over time, she will turn into a contemptuous bitch. But look, I'm not saying you got to take the blame for a woman acting unruly and being difficult in your life. But there is a part you play in that, in maintaining that. If she is not like that in the beginning, she's feeding off of what you're putting out to her. And that's important, because let me tell you something. Let me tell you. Women are easily swayed once they're not getting what they want at home. If they're not getting what they need at home, and look, you don't understand. With social media nowadays, especially, golly, God bless, they got dicks coming at them from every different direction, especially if you got a hot, sexy woman. What do y'all do? Like, they just constantly getting barraged with dicks. Leave her to feel unfulfilled for a little while. And watch one of these Don Juans come sneaking up through the back door. And he's a great listener. He knows exactly what to say. Oh, he understands me. I feel such a connection. And this dude just like, yep, got her. Like a tiger about to pounce a wounded antelope running around a prairie. Just waiting to pounce. And she'll go for it. So, yeah, it's detrimental. And that should be something you would strive to be as a well-integrated, well-rounded man. Is that guy for your wife? is that dad for your children, to give your daughter an example of what she should do and she should marry, what your son should be and what he should strive to be like. There's no better feeling in the world than when your son comes to you and asking you about things, and it seeks your guidance and direction. So it's your obligation, it's your responsibility given to you by God that you are that guy. Do you want other people influencing your children? I see people now who have no say-so in their kids' lives. They're influenced by TV and TikTok. You know, hold on, I did something. Okay. Somebody give me a 1 to let me know they can hear me. 1 in the chat. All right. Nobody. Thank you. So yeah, that should be something you striving to be, is that guy. Okay, I'll see. Thank you. Thank you, Venator. My son right there. So yeah, why wouldn't you want to put yourself in the best possible position to put your family in the best possible position? You know what I mean? Do you want somebody else influencing your family? You want somebody influencing your kids, some outside entities? Do you want, I don't know how to do that. I do not know how to turn down the little knob. Like that? Tell me. Nope, we're going to leave it just like that. If you can hear me, that's all we need. We don't have much time left anyway. So, yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I don't know who's in here, but if you have any questions about that, you got any feedback you want to give, now's your time to comment. And look, I just wanted to stress the importance of that I see too many younger guys, even older guys, getting back out there in the market, dating and shit. Like they think that's the answer. But you may want to date and stuff now, but you know the long-term goal is to have a family, to be in a long-term relationship with somebody you love and care about. And so people are going out there looking and wanting to learn the wrong thing for a long-term relationship. It's not wrong for wanting to learn how to be good with women. I believe that's a necessary skill, because I'm telling you, you could have the rest of your life squared away. You can be jacked, successful, make money, be ambitious, have great character, have all of these great qualities. And if you're bad at selecting women, one woman will burn your fucking life down and you'll lose everything. Look at the divorces that are happening. Look at these billionaires. Look, Tom fucking Brady. For God's sakes. You know, Jeff Bezos, just because you got millions and millions, doesn't mean you have a clue about women. And if you don't have the long-term ability to maintain a frame and a firm leadership role in your family, eventually that'll happen. Even more so nowadays. Because there's more men than ever that have access to women all over the fucking planet now with social media. Think about how many, like it used to be when I was young, you usually dated within your community or where you lived. It's not like that anymore. The community's worldwide. You got dudes coming in from other states, other countries, sweet talking your girl, especially if she's cute. And if she's in a bad spot, and I'm not saying it's right, I'm not saying it's okay for her to do that, but if she feels unattended, she's going to entertain something. I guarantee it. And if you're not there for your kids, they're going to entertain somebody else to look to lead their lives. This is where you get rebellious kids and shit from, who are lost, just looking for something, because they're looking for leadership. They're looking for direction. They're looking for discipline, looking for stability. Your whole family is. And that's how you maintain it. But then there's that element of fun. Love is not, serious drill sergeant all the time. There's a time when you're going to have to be. Love is fun. Love is playful. I want my woman to be my joy when I come home. I got to go out there and slay the dragons. I got to go out there and compete and deal every day. I don't want to come home and do that. When I walk in the door, I'm home. I'm in my sanctuary. I want to see my kids and that beautiful woman come up to me, happy to watching their eyes glow, watching me walk in the door, the dog's panting, can't wait to see. That's what you want. And it's possible. It's attainable. It is. It's up to you to put that work in. It's up to you to make that happen. It's these little habits that you practice and develop over time, years and years and years, that are going to solidify that and make it part of your character, your core belief system, your core value system about yourself. It'll be unwavering. And you don't even have to try, because that's just who you are. You're naturally charismatic. You're naturally a leader. You naturally have emotional and mental stability and strength. So you can endure some turmoil. You can endure the stress. You can endure the waves of craziness and emotion that comes with having a family at times, or when things get upside down. And everybody can trust in you, that they can look to you for that, because you're that supply in the family. But again, I got off track with that rant. You got to keep it fun. You got to keep your woman feeling attractive. You got to slap her ass when you walk past. You got a dirty text her now and then. Set it up. You still got to take her on dates. She's still got to feel special. And that's okay too. And if you do that and you got a good, healthy woman at home, she's going to reciprocate that back to you. And you're going to feel the same way. It's a fucking win-win for everybody. Then the kids get to see what a happy, healthy, stable marriage looks like. The two people married get to enjoy their lives and actually enjoy each other. You ever been out in public and really people watch? Because I do that a lot. Just scan the room and look at the couples. Look like dead eyes. They're gone. They're checked out. They don't even like being there. They're not paying attention to one another. They just assume to be in two separate places, much less enjoying a moment together. And that's sad. That's sad. It really is, because it doesn't have to be like that, and it shouldn't be. If you listen to me, it doesn't have to be. Go turn the TV on. You head in that direction fast. It's a crash course. No avoiding it. So I think that's a wrap. That's a wrap for the night. And I want to thank everybody for coming back in. Thank you all for my followers. My followers are climbing. I got to thank Joe for that. Thank everybody for coming in and following the channel, coming in my lives. I know we don't have a humongous crowd yet, but we're getting there. And I do appreciate everybody who comes in. This channel, this message, this brand, it means a lot to me. It's a calling that I feel I'm answering. And I can't do it without y'all. I can't do it without the people who come in. I can't do it without the people who follow my content. And then, of course, if you like what you heard, hit the like button, comment, subscribe to the channel, share it with somebody who may need to hear this, or may share a common interest in, just getting into the stuff and learning it. Share it with them. Help the channel grow. Hit the like, make the channel grow. Like, all these things go into the algorithm, the considerations for a growing channel, to where it gets more and more attention. Help a motherfucker out. Do that. It's really simple. It's a click of a button. You're already here. So, and look, if you want my guidance, if you're in a jam in your relationship, if you're a jam in a breakup, and you're ready to take action and fix it and put things back on course, look right down there, proudmasculine.com, or on my Instagram, proudmasculine. Shoot me a DM. Get in touch, and we'll set it up. We'll get you started immediately. So, and that's one thing I can tell you. If you do what I say, how I say it, you're going to get results. So anyway, thank everybody for coming in. See y'all on the next one.